department for helping us with our sound every year, for providing us with set pieces for this program. It would not be possible without the help of the drama department and Mrs. Smith. Are you live streaming or? Okay, she is live streaming, so I will send you that link later. And if there are relatives that are not able to be here, they will be able to watch this at a later time. So this is my 19th Greco-Roman Day. Greco-Roman Day was not my idea, although I guess I have done it probably about 6 times longer than any other person who has done it. But it started with a lady named Kim Pollard, who was a lady who apparently was single and had a whole lot more energy and time than I do. But she started Greco-Roman Day sometime back in the late 90s. And when I came in 1999, it had already been established as a tradition. I have transformed Greco-Roman Day from no sets and doing it in the cafeteria to having the chapel and having sets and props and things. And then I also added the games that we will do later. But next year will be my 20th Greco-Roman Day. So it'll be kind of we'll have to celebrate next year with the 20th year. We've worked 2 weeks on this, and it's absolutely amazing what kids are able to put together in a 2-week time period. I'm not Mrs. Cave. I'm not Mrs. Threlkeld, but we do what we can, and I appreciate each and every child in the 6th grade. They have varying talents, varying abilities, but everybody has a line, and everybody is going to give their best this morning, and we're going to have lots of hams and no turkeys, okay? No turkey. No turkey. Turkey is a New World product, so it can't be a Greco-Roman Day. So there are going to be 3 plays this morning, as you see in your program. 6B is going to do King Midas, and then there's going to be Tales from Aesop done by both groups, and then 6A is going to do Damon and Pythias. So those are the 3 plays that we're going to do, and I chose those because each of them represent an element of truth. And as we know as Christians, all truth is God's truth. And so the truth that we are presenting this morning is God's truth, even though they were written by people who didn't know the God that we worship. We'll start off also with a song. The ancient Greeks, when they started their drama, they had drama festivals that they would do. They would begin with a hymn to Zeus. We'll begin with a hymn to the Lord God, which comes from Psalm 115, verse 1, and you can see the words translated for you because we will be singing them in Latin this morning. But let's first of all begin with prayer. Lord God, we thank you for the gifts and talents and abilities that you have given these students, and I hope that I will see many of them up on this stage again in dramas for Mrs. Cave and in the high school. We thank you for the other talents and abilities that you've given these students as well. They have athletic talents, they have dancing talents, they have singing talents, they have musical talents, many talents, Lord, academic talents. You've given them fine brains. We now ask that you would help them to have calm hearts, clear minds, that they might speak slowly, that they might speak clearly, and that you would be glorified, not to us, O Lord, not to us, but whether we eat or drink or whatever we do, including Greco-Roman Day, we want it to be for your glory and for your honor. Keep us safe this day, Lord. We thank you that we are all healthy this morning. That is a great blessing. And we ask that you would keep us safe the rest of this day and then bless them as they begin their spring break. In your name we pray. Amen. So children, if you would come up here, everybody up here for the No Nobis. Let's have 6A line up in front of the stage, 6B, since you're going to be up here on stage to begin. If you would line up here, 6B down here, 6A down there, 6B up here. Mrs. Bowden's going to hold the words for you so that you can see them. I'll hold up my fingers so you don't have any time to play.
Our tales today are based upon stories from ancient Greece and Rome. However, you will see that they contain elements of truth. In Greek mythology, a frequent theme revolved around the question of what is most important. The Bible teaches us that the things of this earth are temporary, but our relationships with each other will last forever if we trust in the Lord as our Savior. While people today who are able to succeed in everything they do are said to have the Midas touch. In the tale of King Midas, presented by the students of 6B, the king learns that what he thought would bring him happiness, in fact, has the opposite effect. We hope you enjoy our version of King Midas and the Golden Touch. Prometheus claims that fire is the greatest gift that humans have. What do you say to this, Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty?
Well, I disagree with Prometheus. I think the greatest gift is speed. What could be more welcome than a gorgeous flower or an attractive face?
I would expect you to say that, since you are the goddess of beauty. However, I think it is a bunch of nonsense. Beauty is a fleeting thing for mortals. The rose fades and withers, and every beautiful human will grow old and wrinkled as well. What is truly important is power.
My dear Hera, though you are queen here at Olympus, humans on earth often find power short-lived. Kings and queens are dethroned and find themselves beggars. Others are killed by people who are greedy for power.
More important than power is wealth. In my underground kingdom, I am surrounded by vast treasures, such as copper and iron, which humans can make into tools, and there is shining silver and glorious gold. My domain is filled with radiant red rubies, glistening emeralds, sapphires, and sparkling diamonds, which humans can exchange these treasures for all kinds of food, clothing, and other valuable goods.
Well, if there is no food, your jewels will be as useless as rocks. I say that the grains, fruits, and vegetables brought forth from the earth are the most valuable gifts of humans.
Demeter is on the right track. Without food, humans would be in deep trouble. Of course, I believe that animals under my care are a bit more important than plants. Deer, rabbits, and birds provide food for hunters.
Farmers have horses and oxen for plowing, and sheep and goats provide wool for clothing. Animals are truly the most worthy gifts of all.
But are these your animals and the greatest place they compare to the body of my mighty hills? The ocean, seas, lakes, and rivers of the mighty night take part in food.
The oceans are also the birthplace of the clouds and gentle rains, which sustain both the plants and animals of this world. I agree with Poseidon. Water is the greatest of all gifts.
I have a suggestion.
Let me guess, Dionysus. You are going to say that grapes for wine are the greatest gift to all mankind.
On the contrary, Athena, I was going to propose that we ask humans what their greatest gift is.
What a marvelous idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Yes, this is truly an excellent idea. But I would like to amend your suggestion a bit, Dionysus. There is a king in the land of Phrygia who is one of the wealthiest men to ever live. Not only does he have great storehouses of treasure, abundant grain fields, livestock, and one of the most beautiful flower gardens in the world. Dionysus, you should go to King Midas and ask him what he would want if he could be granted anything. Then perhaps we can find out what humans consider to be the greatest gift of all.
A splendid plan, Zeus. I shall take my servant Silenus with me. Hopefully he can stay out of too much trouble.
Pharaoh, aid Dionysus and Silenus on their journey to the land of the mortals.
It shall be done by the next rising of the sun, great Zeus. Follow me, Dionysus.
I've so enjoyed my visit to your kingdom. I tell you, Midas, the tales of its beauty do not do justice to its splendor. Why, thank you, Leda. Take this rose garden. I think it impressed me the most. The velvety red blossoms are simply divine, and their fragrance is comparable to the nectar of the gods.
Yes, this was the favorite spot of my dear wife. May Zeus rest your soul. But think of how much more splendid it would be if every rose was made of gold.
Surely you have enough treasures already, Midas. For instance, your throne must be made from about 400 pounds of gold.
452 pounds of gold to be precise. But one can never have too much gold, my dear queen. Speaking of treasures, here comes one of my favorite ones now.
Papa! Look what I found growing in the pasture when I was riding my horse.
Why, thank you, my daughter. Your hugs never fail to brighten my day. Marigold, this is Queen Leda of Space.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Queen Leda. Would you like these?
What gorgeous wildflowers and such a lovely girl.
Have you seen our wonderful rose garden?
Yes, we've just come from there.
How about the fountain? Have you seen that too?
Why, no, I don't believe I have.
Papa, you haven't shown her the fountain? You cannot leave Phrygia without seeing the fountain. It is my most favorite place in the whole kingdom. It is almost magical.
Well, my daughter, why don't you take our guests there? I have some work to do this afternoon.
We'll have such fun at the fountain. The water is deliciously cold and crystal clear, and there are the loveliest fish swimming there too.
Leda, I hope you have a safe journey home.
Farewell, King Midas. I hope we'll see each other again. Now, don't work too hard.
Now, let's see how much you
Take your hands off me, you ruffians!
You'll do what I say, I'll give you a few knots in your noggin. I say, what's all this noise about?
We found this scoundrel in the garden, sire. The drunken fool was sprawled in the berry patch. He just about crushed them all.
I am no drunken fool. I am Silenus, a faithful servant of the god Dionysus. I was in your garden only because of a bit of bad luck.
Silenus, exactly how did you get to be in my garden?
Well, it was like this, Your Highness. I was traveling with my master, Dionysus. Last night, we stopped at a local inn to refresh ourselves. Perhaps I had a bit too much to eat and drink. Anyways, after that, I went on a walk, and 2 lads from the inn were with me. Ratty lads, to be sure, and before I knew it, they whacked me around, robbed me, and threw my bruised and battered body from the road into the garden.
Sir, the road is over 50 yards from the garden. Even the strongest man could not have hurled you that far.
Well, they didn't throw me the whole distance. First, there was a ferocious fight. I only had a sword against 5 or 6 of them armed with staves and spears.
But I thought you said there were only 2 robbers.
There were only 2 from the inn, but a dozen or so in an ambush at the road crossing. They were armed with clubs, spears, swords, shields, and a trident or 2 as well.
Oh, so now there are a dozen robbers?
The night is all muddled in my head. It was such a bloody battle, I only had a small dagger, but I dare say I killed half a dozen of them with my flashing dagger before one of them knocked me out with his club. There's probably red blood splattered all over the garden.
The only thing red splattered on the ground is a lot of smashed berries, you big buffoon. My king, I don't believe a word he says except the part about being muddled in the head.
Silenus, earlier you said that perhaps you had a bit too much to eat and drink at the end. What do you call a bit too much?
Well, I did eat 3 loaves of bread.
Anything else?
Let's see. 2 roasted chickens and a round of cheese, a jar of olives and 2 clusters of grapes, a few dozen or so figs, and I washed it all down with a gallon of wine.
No wonder he was asleep for so long. Should we give him a sound beating and a few kicks down the road?
No. The poor fellow does seem to have had a rough time. Let him stay the night in the cottage behind the stable. Now, Silenus, here's enough silver to get you to wherever it is you are going. Now mind that you get to bed early tonight and no foolishness.
Thank you, kind king. May the blessings of the god of Olympus shower.
I've done very little counting today, and I have this. Who are you?
I'm Dionysus, the god of wine.
So Silenus really is your servant.
A foolish one, but yes, he is my servant. However, because of your kindness, Silenus, that I have not come. The Olympic gods have sent me here to grant you one wish.
Any wish?
Yes, any wish your heart desires.
Let me see. I'm already devastatingly handsome, so I don't need good looks. I've been told that my gardens are the best in all the Aegean. How about an Xbox 400?
It hasn't been invented yet.
Right. World peace. Nah, but I could use more gold. But how much?
You're so rich. Why more gold?
A king can never have too much gold. I've often wished that everything I touch would turn to gold. That's it. I wish that everything I touch would turn to gold.
Think about that a minute. There could be some problems.
That's my wish. Are you going to give it to me or not?
Very well then. With the wave of my hand and a spell very old, everything you touch will be gold.
When will it start?
Tomorrow when you wake.
I can't wait for tomorrow. This is going to be epic.
So out of everything imaginable, Midas chose the golden touch. The next morning, he made a miraculous discovery.
It's true. The first thing I touched today was a rose in my vase, and now it's solid gold. I have so much work to do today. I'll go to my rose garden. No more green and red thorny bushes. Every flower will be gold.
Here's your favorite breakfast, sire.
Yes. I must eat a hearty meal because I have a great deal of work to do today, so I shall be rich beyond belief.
But my king, you're already so rich.
Yes, but I shall be the richest person to ever live. I shall have a gold palace, gold streets, even golden hills. See my knife and fork? They're pure gold. No more silverware for me. Now let's see. What will I eat first? These purple grapes look sweet and juicy. Good heavens, they're solid gold. I'll have to be careful not to touch my food with my hands. Come feed me, please, so.
My king, should you accidentally touch me, I would turn gold. I mean, I've always wanted a golden globe, but I never wanted to be gold.
I think I left some loaves of bread in the oven. I don't want them to burn.
Maybe I can use my fork to lift up my toast and eggs? Oh no, now my toast is now just gold. My toast is solid gold. I'll have to settle for some juice and not let it touch my lips. It's no use. Even my juice is now just a lump of gold. This is madness. What good will my riches do me if I can't eat? I'll soon starve to death. Dionysus tried to warn me. If only I had listened. I have to make arrangements for my little girl, who is motherless and will soon be fatherless too.
Why, Papa, you look so sad.
I have done a foolish thing, my daughter, and now I must pay a high price for my folly.
You're so rich. You could pay for anything, Papa.
I'm afraid not everything, my daughter. I have some painful decisions I must make today. You should go play by the fountain and leave your father to do some necessary planning.
I've never seen Papa look so sad. How I wish I could cheer him up. I know. He always says that my hugs brighten his day. I'll go give him a hug. Papa! Papa!
Wait, no! Wait, no! There you go! Don't touch me! Oh no, this is a terrible fate. Not only will I starve to death, but my beloved daughter is a golden statue. Almighty Olympians, have pity on a foolish man. If I were poor, but had my daughter running and skipping and breathing again, I'd have all the treasure I'd really want. I do. I wish I had never asked for this terrible golden touch.
Here, take this pitcher and go to the source of the Falls River. Bathe there, and the golden touch shall be removed. Then anything that the water from the pitcher touches will also be changed back to normal.
The source of the Pactolus River. Well, that's about me love so much. It's the source.
So Midas ran as fast as he could toward the fountain. Rocks, trees, and grass were changed into gold. However, the fountain's water made the change Midas desired.
The water works on the rose. Now let's see if it'll work on my daughter.
Why, Papa, I'm dripping wet.
Never mind, my beautiful child. Here's a flower for you. Come give your papa a hug.
Why, just a moment ago, you were telling me not to touch you.
Believe me, my daughter, I'd trade the whole kingdom for one of your hugs. You are truly the greatest gift of
Gods and goddesses. Up here. Sword here, settings. get the things off that don't belong for Aesop, get the stuff out, so the column can go over to the side. Not all the way, don't move it too far, so you can't find it. That's far enough. That's far enough. Okay. And then the stuff comes out in the middle, and the tree comes out. And the rock. We need Aesop's rock. Aesop. That's not the right.
Harry, start over there.
At one point, the shepherdess has to stand on this, and it needs to be sturdier than this one.
In the fables of the storyteller Aesop, we find many parallels to biblical truth. For example, 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Proverbs 10:4 tells us that lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 12:22 teaches that the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in men who are truthful. See if you can recognize these ideas in the following stories.
Master Aesop! Master Aesop!
Well, hello, children. How are you doing on this fine day?
We're bored. Tell us some of your stories.
Oh, surely you've heard them all 100 times already.
But we never tire of hearing them.
Please. Okay. But how about you help me tell the stories? Let's go sit over there. Let's start off with the tale of the mouse and the lion. You 6 can be the mice. You 3 can be the hunters. And oh yes, we need a lion. You can be the lion. There's some stuff in the box for you to use. Our story starts off in the forest near Thrace.
Lions don't live in the forest.
This is a special lion. He lived in the forest, and there were lots of mice in the forest too. One day,
Boy, look at all these acorns. We're going to have a feast today. Yes, this old forest is the best place to find trees. But you better keep your eyes open. Otherwise, we'll wind up in the streets for some big hawk or some sneaky weasel. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Look, over here are my favorite seeds. And over here are some acorns.
That's good, but put everything around and make me nervous.
Yes, you must quit screaming about and slow down. If you don't, you'll attract attention of some dangerous carnivorous animal. That reminds me. Did I ever tell you you all about my journey to the big city?
No, what was it like?
Well, I went to visit my cousin, who lives in the great city of Athens. He and a whole group of other mice live in a large house. There are all kinds of delightful foods to eat. Vegetables, breads, cakes, and lots of cheese.
Yum, that doesn't sound dangerous. That sounds like paradise.
But listen, besides good food, there's this wicked monster called Cat that lives in the house. Got huge teeth and long, sharp claws. This monster weighs 14 pounds, and it eats mice. I almost became its dinner.
Oh my!
14 pounds? That's gigantic.
Yes, so I left as soon as I could, and I told my cousin, you can stick to the city life, and I'll keep my nice, safe forest.
Oh boy, here are some grains of wheat, and over by that rock. It looks
Wait,
like a
stop,
huge berry.
Squeaky! No, that's not a rock. That's
Someone has bitten me on the nose!
Please forgive me, Your Majesty. I thought that you were a rock and that your nose was a big fat berry.
So you bit me and disturbed my nap, you pesky little runt!
It was an accident. Please don't hurt me, Your Majesty. If you let me go, then I promise I'll do you a favor someday, kind sir.
Ha ha ha! You help me? Why, you're just a tiny mouse! Well, you have made me laugh, little fellow, and for that I should let you go.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I will keep my promise. Just roar if I can ever be of any service.
The little mouse was overjoyed at being spared, and was always courteous whenever he saw the kingly lion. From then on, the great lion came back. The great lion came back each day to the same spot for a nap, for it was cool and peaceful under the trees. But one fateful day.
Shh, there he is. He looks like a farm truck to me.
Hooray, we caught him. Watch out for his claws. He's so mad and dangerous.
Quick, let's drive him safely to the ground so he can escape. There, that should hold him. So we kill him around and sell his skin or take him back alive and sell him to the circus. Let's go to town and talk to the circus owner. Whoever offers, then we check at the tennis shop. Whoever offers us the best price, we get our catch.
Bad deal. You'll be safe here for now.
No matter how I struggle against this net, there is no escape. I'm immune for sure.
Your Majesty, I heard the roar. Oh, this is a terrible situation, but hold still and I shall help you. I promise to do you a favor someday, and looks like these are no problem for a great giver like myself. Here you go, Your Majesty.
Thank you, friend, you've saved my life.
So the lion learned a worthy lesson. Even the least important person can be a valuable friend. The lion and the mouse were close friends from that day on. Okay, I need 5 of you. Who didn't get to act out the last one? How about you, and you. I think there are some things in the box for you to use.
My children, I am old and feeble, and the doctor has told me that I don't have long to live. I must quit working on our farm.
A farmer once had the best farm in all of Anatolia. However, he had grown old, and his children had no interest in taking care of the farm. So he tried to figure out a way to motivate his children to provide for themselves.
My children, I am old and feeble, and the doctor has told me that I don't have long to live. I must quit working on our farm.
I am leaving to spend my last days with your uncle in Cyprus. Before I go, I must tell you a secret. There's a great treasure hidden in the soil of our farm. Hope you find this wealth, my children. And now I must leave. Goodbye.
Imagine brother and sister turned over the soil of our farm. If we find it, we'll be rich.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get to work.
The farmer's children worked steadily with shovels and spades. They pulled up weeds and plowed up the dirt. After many days of work, they had not found any treasure, but they did notice something.
We worked over half the land and still no sign of gold or jewels.
But look how green and healthy the olive trees look now.
And the weeding seems to have helped the grapevine.
Since we've got so much of the land dug up, we ought to go ahead and plant some wheat. And after that, we can keep looking for the treasure.
So the farmer's children planted the fields, and when fall came, a visitor stopped by.
These are the best grapes I've ever tasted, and each time I pass by, you folks have been so hard at work. No wonder your farm is in such excellent condition. I'm convinced that these are the finest crops around. I'm a merchant, and I like to buy your entire harvest. I'll pay you top prices for it, too. Let's say 20 drachmas for each basket of wheat and 5 pieces of silver for each basket of grain.
It's a deal.
Here's a bag of silver as a down payment, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
And so the children learned a valuable lesson.
I know. Hard work produces great treasures.
Very good. You have been listening.
I really must be getting on. The Agora will be closing soon.
Wait, but you haven't told my favorite one yet. Please tell us the story about the shepherd's tired wolf.
I will, but only if you play the part of the shepherd.
But I'm a girl. Shepherds are supposed to be boys.
Times are changing. This is the 6th century BC. I think a girl can be a fine shepherd if she's willing to try. I have a shepherd. Let's see. You can be the mother. You can be the farmer. And you can be the smith. You can be the potter, and you can play the baker. We need a wolf. Oh, how about you? There are some things in the box for you to use. This is a tragic story. It teaches the importance of integrity and honesty, though. There is a lesson here, too, if you will only but look for it. Our story starts on a warm summer day on a hill just outside of Ephesus.
I know you're not excited about this, my daughter, but it is a very important job. All the sheep of the entire village are under your care. If you do a good job at this, then maybe you can do what you want to do next. And be sure to stay on the hilltop. That way you can safely see if thieves or wild beasts try to take our sheep. And if you do, there are people close by that you can call for help. Now I must go to the market in the city to sell our grapes. I'll be back this evening.
Boy, what a lousy job. I bet this is the sorriest job in the world, watching a bunch of dumb sheep. I wish I could go to the market. There's lots of excitement there. Hey, you ignorant lamb. Do you know where the ram went to get his wool cut? He went to the Baba shop. Figured you wouldn't get it. All you stupid animals know how to do is chew grass. Anything would be better than this. At least if I were selling grapes, I'd have someone to talk to.
Wait, I've got an idea. I know how to add some excitement. Help! A wolf! Help! Where? I don't see a wolf. Well, there's this one. And he's pretty late.
Just one? That's mighty curious. They usually travel in packs. Well, if you see another one, throw a stone first. If that doesn't scare him, call some help.
Boys, this is fun. Did you see that chubby little smith huffing and puffing as he ran up the hill? I'm gonna have some kicks today. Well now, who shall I fool next? How about this woman working down in the ovens?
Help! A wolf! A wolf! Help! Look at that old baker run with her. Look at that old potter run with her big pot. And now she dropped it and broke it.
Are the sheep safe? I ruined an expensive clay pot to get here in time to help.
I don't see a wolf. My little bread probably burning, shepherd girl.
I guess the wolf must have run away.
We've wasted enough time. Let's get back to work.
Well, it sounds mighty fishy to me. My husband told me last time that the shepherd, the old wolf, never signed a wolf anywhere.
Stupid old baker woman. What a sight she made holding up her skirt as she ran. And my, didn't she sweat get red in the face too? Well, no. Who shall I fool next? How about that man with the basket of apples? He'll do. Help! A wolf! A wolf! Help! Yippee! This is a real hoot. Why, uh-oh. That's not the apple picker. It's the smithy. And he was carrying a basket of iron ore. And here comes his wife and the farmer too. I'm in trouble now. I better think of something. Quick! Here, I'll throw some stones. Go away, you bad wolf. Leave our sheep alone, you bad wolf. Don't you ever come back. Not a wolf anywhere. I did like you told me and threw rocks at it. It just ran off that way.
I bet you little scamp.
Baz, you're Smithy. There's not a single woodchuck on the ground! To think of all the work wasted today because of your foolishness. Your mother will hear about this.
I'll tell you one thing for sure. If you call wolf again, shepherd girl, I'll come up here with a sturdy staff. If there's no wolf to out, I'll use it on your behalf.
We won't be so quick when it's time.
You bunch of dumb people. It was worth it to see you all upset. Go ahead and tell my mother. I'll just make up a story about how mean you are, and she'll believe me. That's strange. I didn't know we had a gray sheep. Good heavens, that's not a sheep. That's a wolf. And there's another one. Help! Wolf! Wolf! No, a whole pack of wolves. Help! Wolves! This time for real. Why doesn't anyone come? Surely they can hear me. This is terrible. The wolves have killed the big rams, and now the little sheep don't stand a chance. Go away, you bad wolf! The wolves have killed all the big sheep, and now they're dragging off the little lambs too? This is all my fault.
What a terrible lesson she learned. If you tell lies, no one will believe you, even when you tell the truth.
I understand the importance of honesty, Master Aesop, but what other lessons do you have in mind?
If I gave you all the answers, where would the learning be? And now, dear children, our tales are done. I hope you've been entertained, but if you've learned a thing or two as well, then old Master Aesop is pleased. The end.
Everybody in the ship.
battle. Later, it was written down by the Greek Cicero, whose writings were rediscovered during the Renaissance. In the story, Pythias travels to Syracuse to visit his friend Damon during the reign of the tyrant King Dionysius I. The original story may be based on actual friends who lived in the 4th century BC. However, they have come to represent the ideal of human friendship and, in our tale, the kind of sacrificial love that Christians are commanded to have for one another. There's also a theme of redemption in this story as well. Now we present our version of Damon and Pythias.
An excellent performance indeed. What news do you bring to me, Hermes?
It is your brother, the great Poseidon, ruler of the sea. He has come to see you here on Olympus.
Greetings, my mighty brother, Zeus, king of the gods. I brought gifts for you, pearls and coal from the ocean's depths.
Welcome to Mount Olympus. These are excellent gifts.
No, you're wrong. Wealth and power are infinitely better.
Neither wealth nor power matter if you don't have love and friends.
What is the trouble?
I think that love and friendship are better gifts than wealth and power.
Are you two still arguing about this?
Aphrodite is wrong. I say that wealth and power are best. What do you think, Zeus? Would you rather have wealth and power, or love and friendship?
I don't think I'd like to give up neither friends nor power.
Mighty Zeus?
Yes, my brother.
Let's ask the goddess of wisdom what she thinks about
An excellent idea. What do you think, Athena? Who might describe all of
The powerful King Dionysius rules over Syracuse, and he is the most wealthy of all humans. Also in Syracuse at the moment, two men named Damon and Pythias are visiting together. They're the best of friends. I suggest that Aphrodite and Hera visit this kingdom. Then they can decide for themselves which is better, the power and wealth of Dionysius, or the love and friendship between Damon and Pythias.
An excellent idea. Does this suit your two Dionysius?
Yes, it does indeed.
Let it be so.
You'll see that I'm right.
Now, King Dionysius was extremely rich, but he had become a cruel tyrant. When Damon's best friend came to visit, he was surprised to find that such a heartless dictator ruled over the kingdom of Syracuse. Unfortunately, Pythias made the mistake of saying in public that he thought Dionysius was a wicked ruler.
998, 1,199, 5,000. Tell me, Captain, how many more bags of taxes are provided today?
There are 20 bags of silver for the citizens of Syracuse and 50 bags of tribute from the conquered towns.
Good. I'll be the richest man in the world. 5,001, 5,002.
Well, you can certainly afford to buy your wife a new silk gown and gold bracelet to wear to the banquet next week. I'll just die if I wear these old rags again.
This fellow certainly seems to be powerful and wealthy enough. I wonder what it's like for the two friends, Damon and Pythias.
Let's watch and see.
Now before the king, you're getting David out.
You drowned my fish, dog.
Dear, your guards have dragged in some smelly peasant into our chambers. How absolutely dreadful. He's liable to get dirt on my new Persian rug.
Who is this barefoot knave?
This is the man you sent to arrest for speaking against you.
So, you are the loose-lipped scoundrel. Go against me, the king. Tell me what you dare to say against my good name.
All I said was the truth. Though you are powerful, you are a cruel and foolish king. Cruel because you rule with a fierce army, and foolish because you do not realize that your people serve you out of fear, not because they love you or respect you. A good king would be—
Silence! I have heard enough. You think I'm cruel, eh? Because of your words, you'll see how truly cruel I can be. You'll be thrown into my prison. You can fight with the rats for your food. At the end of 3 months, you shall be put to death.
Please, mighty king, spare his life. My friend Pythias is a stranger here. He did not know it was against the law to criticize you in public.
I am the mighty and powerful Dionysus. In my kingdom, my word's the law. Ignorance is no excuse. Pythias learned this the hard way. After his death, others think twice for voicing their opinions about me.
King Dionysus, I must accept your harsh laws, but I ask you to grant me one last request. May I journey back to my country and make arrangements for my wife and children. Then I shall come back to receive my punishment.
Do you really expect me to believe that I let you go? You will return guard to the thrown into the prison.
Wait! Yes, great king. My friend Pythias is an honest man. If he promises to return, he will return. If not, on the day appointed for his execution, I'll take his place.
Well, if you are foolish enough to take his place, then you deserve his death. Guards, throw Damon into prison instead. Come, my dear.
Be sure he doesn't soil the rug. Now about that new gown.
Thank you, Damon. I will feel better after my family has been taken care of. I believe you. May the gods of wonders be with you.
So Pythias returned home. He had a safe, speedy trip and made arrangements for his family. When it was time for him to leave, his family tried to get him to stay.
Pythias, must you return so soon? It seems you've barely gotten home.
The execution is scheduled for 2 weeks from today. I must get back before then.
Stay here with me and your children and friends. Perhaps it's the will of God that Damon dies in your place. He has no wife or children.
While I love you dearly, I shall not be unfaithful to my friend, for that is a thing that the cruel tyrant Dionysus would do.
What will I do without you?
You will be taken care of. Please don't make this harder than it is. Now I must leave. Goodbye.
Theseus return to Syracuse was not easy. He ran into storms and wild animals. As the date of the execution drew nearer, Damon waited for Pythias in Dionysus' prison.
So, Damon, execution is almost here. Do you still think Pythias will return? My friend is loyal, and he will return if he's able. If not, I'll gladly take his place. You are fooled! Pythias has outfoxed you, and you will surely die in his place. Many obstacles have slowed my return, and I am weary, but my travels are almost at an end. I shall camp here tonight, and tomorrow I shall reach Syracuse.
Grab it, mates!
Shall I slit his throat, Skag? Or how about I poke out his eyes and then run him through with a dagger?
No, you boneheads! Let's see what he's got. Ah, a bag of coins.
What's this?
It's just a fee for camping out here in our fair woods.
What's the fee?
Everything you have.
Why, you're just common robbers.
Oh, he's a bright one, isn't he? Can we kill him now, Skag?
No, just tie him up. That'll give us a chance to get away. Maybe a rat will gnaw through your ropes in a day or two.
Please, sirs, don't tie me up. I must reach Syracuse by tomorrow. Otherwise, King Dionysus will have my friend Damon executed in my place.
Why do you want to think us twice? Once for not killing you ourselves, and second for not letting that thief with the crown chop off your head. Be tight now.
Wait! Come back! Oh, it's no use. They've gone. Now Damon will die thinking that I deserted him. Oh, gods of Olympus, have pity. I don't care what happens to me, but spare my friend's life from an undeserved death.
Look, Hera, he has a troubled slumber. Saddened friendship.
I hate to lose an argument to Aphrodite, but I have to admit that I have come to respect these two loyal friends.
What's this? My ropes are gone. Thank the gods. Uh-oh, the sun has already risen. I've overslept. I might be too late to save Damon.
king for a crime he did not commit.
Quiet. If the guards hear you, then you will suffer the same evil fate. Do we really have to watch this? Yes, the king wants everyone to see what happens to those who
Or are foolish enough to take that person's place. Bow to the king and queen, peasants!
When are you going to buy me that new gown and jewelry?
Later, dear. Right now, that foolish Damon. Bring out the prisoner. Damon, you now see how foolish you were to put this in place? Prepare to meet your doom.
I can't believe Dionysus is really going to do this. I just can't.
Look, everyone, someone's running up the road.
Can it be?
Yes, I think it is. It's Pythias. He didn't forsake Damon after all. He's returned to Syracuse.
Wait! Stop the execution!
What's this?
I knew you'd come back, my friend. Sorry it took me so long.
Shall Pythias be slain instead of Damon, my king?
Though I have great treasures and a mighty army, these two men have something more valuable, something which neither money nor power can provide. They have a deep and loyal friendship. If only I had such friends. They taught me a great lesson. Set them both free.
Greater love has no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends.
Sammy Harpole is cool.
All right, so in a minute we will transition, but here, look at put that in King Midas. I do have to say, first of all, because of the High School Musical, Millie, and because of chapels this week, we have not been able to practice at all on this stage. So all the practices that we have done have been in our classroom, and they had to translate what they were doing in the classroom to a stage which is much larger than my classroom. So I think they've done a fabulous job. Let's give them all another big round of applause. So we need to make sure that all of the props get back into the proper boxes and that those boxes go back to my classroom. But that is, we're going to make a transition in just a minute. There's still some King Midas stuff over here that needs to get back in the King Midas box. And then comes the chore of always making sure that they get the right things back to my room. Because some things go back to my room and some things are staying over here. And one of these things is actually going over to the gym for one of our events. So this stump, if a couple of boys could take that stump to the gym, that's going to be for one of our games. I always do this and then they grab everything. That's not what I wanted to grab anyway. That tree this chair. This table, the jail cell, and the rose garden. The trellis does not go, okay? Just the rose garden, but not the trellis. I don't need that in my room all year long, although it's very lovely. So this comes back, not this at all, okay? This stays here. So that box goes in King Midas. So if you could get that, Lily Beth, if you could pull all those